Hi everyone, this is David T. Chappelle coming at you from David's Garden. Today we're going to talk about watering, and hopefully I'll show you a couple of different ways of watering. The only two ways I found that are any good are these ultra-fine misters that I'm showing you here that make rain drop-sized droplets, and the flood tables, which I've shown you in past videos, but I think I'll probably go back over those again. I've been thinking a lot about how to present water. Everybody knows that it's the, source of life. Without it, you can't have any life. But nobody seems to really know much about watering a garden beyond that. And really, you have to consider that you're watering a garden which has a lot of different kinds of plants, and it's not the same as watering a lawn or a pasture or a field. It has to be done strategically. You can't just wholesale throw massive amounts of water down. The goal with watering a garden is to keep the ground moist all the time. It seems that the goal with watering a lawn is just to waste water. Well, let's see. My project today is all the way out on the other end of the garden, so I'm going to have to film this one in pieces, so you might notice some variance in the noise and the lighting and stuff. Hopefully everything will come together okay, but I just want you to see. Let me see if I can pan around a little bit. There's a lot of different ways, a lot of different sprinklers, a lot of different methods. You should really take into consider where you're at when you're watering, because if you're in Portland, Oregon, or LA, California, you're going to water a lot different than I do here, because I'm in a desert, and those two places get crap loads of water. They just waste all of it. If you're getting 60 inches of rain a year, there's no reason that you should have a wasteland for a garden. Or, in LA everything's concrete, so it all just runs off, and then they wonder where all their water went. Here we're lucky to get 2 inches of rain a year, and every drop is precious. But even so, you've got lawn after lawn after lawn after lawn wasting water. And I think that it's because people don't appreciate the water, and they really don't know how to water. So I'm gonna try to show you guys how to water a garden. I don't know if I'll succeed, but it's probably going to take several shows, because it is strategic watering. You're not just, it's not like just dumping a bucket out. You get too much and the plants get root rot. Get too little and they just fry. Get way too little and even the ground dies. You don't think of ground as having a life, but it does. It can die. So alright, so just a minute and I'll get to work on our project, our watering project. You're going to hear a lot about watering from me, so hopefully things will come together okay. Before we get started on the project, I wanted to show you guys the flood tables again. I've got a recirculating pump in here, just a solar pump. I think it's actually the one I had. Yeah, I had it on the pipe, if you remember that. But these are just two temporary flood tables here, and then we've got the nicer one over there, and then farther back you can see a wagon back there. I made a mobile flood table out of that, just with magnets and the plastic for the liner. I didn't want my wagon to rust, but I had a spool of magnets and just magnetize use the magnets as tacks to hold the liner to the wagon bed, and it's working good. It's just a temporary one for my peppers while I find some place to put them. But I was wanting you guys to see that you can see on that one the pots look a little bit low in the water, but the only ones that really are like these two square ones here. Those are kind of low in the water, but all of these are actually only about halfway. It's a very shallow table, and these are rather large pots. I mean, these are like, I don't know, 20 gallons or something, so they're only about halfway deep. Now this flood table, I had both of these turned off from the 1st to about the 18th, and if you remember from other watering type shows that I've done, I wanted something that would hold the plants at least 3 weeks, and these do that easily, because when I refilled them, they weren't empty by any stretch of the imagination, and they were still able to get the water. The plants were able to get the water. You'd think that they would be pretty saturated, but actually, ignore the elm seed, you can see that they're not really saturated on top, but you know, it's still wet. See, that's about how moist you want your soil all the time. Yeah, I just buried some seeds. Now they'll grow and I'll have to pull weeds. Oh well. And you know, you don't have to have this hooked up all the time. I've got it hooked into the watering line so that I can turn it on and off. You know, I can flood it periodically to get any detritus out, or you know, these floating seeds. At the moment it doesn't do me any good because the seeds are, you know, the elm trees are still shedding, so they'll be doing that for the next week, so there's no point in me flooding it to get rid of them. But and then I put the pump in. Well, see, that one, it's got a green film over it along with everything else. That's because of, on the end down there, I had to save my cattails, and there was a little slime on them, so it infiltrated the entire flood table. It's not as bad as it looks, but with all those seeds on it, it looks pretty bad with all of the seeds. It's not that bad, but one of the reasons I put the circulating pump in this one is partly to give the pump something to do, and to keep the water oxygenated in case I wanted to put a few fish in here or whatever. You can actually see the current. It's coming between those two pots, so it's not as strong as it could be, but and the animals like to drink out of this too, so well, anyway, I just wanted you to see that as long as the flood tables are shallow enough for the pots and that the pots are tall enough, that this is an excellent way of watering. If you are in a place that has a lot of mosquitoes, you might want to put a mosquito dunk or keep fish in them just to keep the mosquitoes down, sorry. But these are just temporary. I'm going to be rebuilding those hopefully as soon as I have enough money to get the cinder blocks. Speaking of money, if you find my videos useful, you could always send a donation to help me with my building and help make future videos and stuff. The address to send to is at the end of the video. It's on the end of all the videos. So, and if you are wanting to send comments or questions, you'll have to do it with a postcard or a letter, because I only check my emails about once a month or so, because my internet connection's half a mile away and I just don't feel like it. And besides that, I don't check my emails very often. I used to, but I don't anymore. So if you want to send anything to me, the fastest way to get a hold of me is via snail mail now. Okay, so let's get busy on our project then.